Hello, and thank you for spending time with Trinity Stamps. We're going to share some of our interactive dies with you today and put them into a fall theme. I'm going to start out by using the coffee mug card die set. This is one of our best sellers, and not only does it make a coffee cup shaped card base actually, then there's an insert that allows you to place a gift card. I'm going to pair this with the 𝐒𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐧𝐷𝐿𝐴 standalone die set. Now here are all the pieces that I'll be using today. And I'm going to start off by opening up that card base and using some Post-it tape. You could use washi tape. And I'm going to mask off the areas that I want to make sure don't get any color on them at all. Now I'm going to use some Trinity Blending Buddy brushes and pair them with some Distress Oxide inks to add color just at the bottom of the mug. I want this to look like a fall or autumn themed project, and I have got some beautiful colors already blended on a panel here. Now I'm going to bring over the Autumn Rainbow stamps, dies, and stencil. Using some blackout ink from Ink on 3, I am stamping some of those leaves onto this panel, and I'm being mindful that I'll be able to still use the scripty die in order to make my sentiment. Now I'm using the stencil to take just 2 areas that I want to make an additional layer. I'm going to place some leaves on top of this, but I want to have a layer underneath to kind of give some depth to the project. Now here is the first word going on, and as you can see, this is a project that adapts itself to any season, not just fall. You could use for birthdays, you could use this for all kinds of things. Coffee mugs are something that are really fun to customize to people's wants and needs. And if there's a certain flavor that they like of something, that it always goes well. So the coffee mug card die set is very adaptable. I'm going to make sure to place some of those leaves to hang off and then cut off the outside. Now placing that little area that looks like there's coffee inside and just glue it down to the front. Using a fine line black marker to just add a few black specks, and then a Copic marker to give some contours, really brings the card to life. This is a Latte Love stamp set, and I'm using a few of the pieces to put together and stamp it on the gift card holder section where it says Hug in a Mug, and I'm going to use some contrasted colors in some of the Trinity teal. Once I have this colored, then I'm going to glue it down to the inside of the coffee mug card base. And I'm careful not to put any glue around the area that's going to actually hold that gift card. And you can see that the gift card will just slide in and out really easy and so much fun. This is a really great project for people of any age, whether it's teenagers, grandkids, brothers and sisters, uncles. Perfect. I've saved some of those images and I've added them to the inside. Now I've taken and adapted this into a card, and you can see that this design, if you can make a handmade card with a certain look, you can add it to the coffee mug card die set. Here are a few examples of what it could look like customized from our design team. As you can see, it goes with many different images and has lots and lots of different looks. These examples remind me of some coffee cups I've seen. On to the Slimline Surprises die set. I know you're going to love this die set. You pull up a strip and the card raises up like an easel. And I'm going to pair it with some of our favorites from the Trinity store, with the Harvest Candy and Floral Pumpkin Bucket die set, the Blooming Bunch stamps and dies, It's just so easy to customize. I'm going to start out with a slimline card base that measures 8.5 by 3.5 once it's folded. And then from the same cardstock, I have cut away the pieces that are in the die set. It cuts out this tag, or it's an open-ended piece of paper, and then once you put that contoured tag piece on top, it allows you to make it any length that you like. You can do this because it will adapt to a different size card. I'm using the same cardstock for all 3 pieces. So 3 pieces are necessary: a card base and both of the pieces that are in the die set. I'm going to use some Twiggy Brown ink from Ink on 3 with a Trinity blending brush and kind of grunge up things a little bit because this is an autumn theme project and I want it to have a really earthy look. Now we're going to start doing our scoring and folding. At the bottom, we're going to fold that little piece up towards ourselves. And then in the middle, we're going to make sure that folds up top like a hill. And then up very close to the top of this unit is another fold mark. So there are 3 fold marks that we're going to burnish. I've done the same treatment with that Twiggy Brown ink to the card base and to the tags section because I want them all to look like they belong together. Now here is a folded hug stamp set from Trinity Stamps. And I've used this because it demonstrates the variety of stamps that we carry. There are lots of ways to use some of the products that you already have in your craft stash. And this Slimline Surprises die set is a great way to feature them. So once everything is stamped onto this particular piece and to the card base underneath it, then we're going to start assembling. To assemble, I'm putting a piece of double-sided tape to that bottom strip, and it may have been hard for you to see that rip-off strip, but here you can see I'm aligning it, and I'm aligning that tag or bookmark piece right behind it. And you can see that as I pull it, it's going to kind of fold upwards. Now I've used some double-sided foam strips on this in order to give there plenty of room for that little floating piece to move around. So I'm starting at the bottom to adhere it, and then I'm just going up the sides to make sure that I get it flush with the card base. And now all 3 pieces are working together to make one unit. The card base opens and closes on its own, and then you've got that surprise section that when you pull it, it raises up to reveal a message underneath and a message on the part that you're pulling out. And it raises up to stay up like an easel. So because it works as an easel, then we're going to play off of that idea and create a flower arrangement to work as an easel. It's really fun. So I'm using some more Atelier inks and Trinity Blending Buddy brushes to add to a white 110-pound cardstock die cut that is from the Harvest Candy and Floral Pumpkin Bucket dies. Because I have so much of that earthy colored cardstock, I chose to do the stamping for the floral arrangement on the same cardstock as well. Sometimes there's just something really appealing to me about coloring on craft cardstock. It just has such a pretty feel to it. Now I'm going to use some very simple Copic coloring in order to add the colors. I'm not going to show all of the coloring on screen for you because you can watch the coloring and follow along if you like. But I'm using some really deep fall and autumn colors. I want it to contrast with the greens, and then we've got the sunflower that is in this arrangement that is also going to kind of stand out. I've listed all of the Copic colors. I've put the caps on screen so that if you'd like to know what colors we're using, then you can follow along that way. But it's just very basic Copic coloring, And you can follow this with any color choices of your own desire. So once everything is colored, then I'm just going to add some highlights here. Now this is a contrasting color. I'm bringing the orange in to contrast with that really pretty yellow color. And then I'm going to add a brown to the center. So this flower could actually be any kind of flower you like. I just wanted it to look like a sunflower. This is one of many of the floral stamps and dies that we have in the Trinity shop. Now, once I have it colored, I'm going to cut away that bottom section because I want it to appear as if it's hanging off outside of the pumpkin. I colored another set on white cardstock off screen so that you could see what it looks like to pair this with a white versus on the craft. Now, a white gel pen is just used in order to get some highlight areas in a couple of the different areas that would kind of be eye-catching on the floral arrangement. And that is just so fun to sit down and color, just really relaxing. Now I'm going to start decorating the surprise slider. I'm being careful not to let the glue go onto the other parts of the slider. So I've kept it about 1/4 of an inch away from the outside edge. I'm placing the arrangement in a way that it's going to stand up nicely whenever the card is opened, and left open, it can be used to decorate a windowsill or a desk, anywhere that would allow it to just be seen and be pretty. So I'm going to adhere now that flower arrangement, and I made some marks with a pencil so that I would know where not to put the foam tape. So the foam tape only goes on that one slider area. My sentiment is from the Autumn Sentiment stamp set, and it says Happy Thanksgiving, and there's just so many different possibilities. Now this one says Happy Pumpkin Spice Season, and then we have Happy Thanksgiving as well. There's so much fun. You can customize these dies in so many different ways. Now I'm going to add some of the embellishments that are from the Trinity shop. This is a little set of sunflower seeds that are made from clay, and they're called Unshelled Sprinkles Mix. And then I'm also going to be using some Unicorn Tears rhinestones, and that's going to give a little bit more shine and sparkle. Now you could certainly use some of that aqua shimmer pen and make things shiny and bright and really eye-catching. In order to make it really clear that the top is supposed to be pulled out, I'm going to make it really easy to see by putting a piece of ribbon, and that's going to stick out from the top. And you see when you open it and when you pull it, it's like magic. This is the Slimline Surprises interactive die set. So much fun to customize. Here are a few examples from our design team. You can see that it's adaptable to many different seasons and many different occasions, and you can hide messages. For our last project of interactive dies, we have the Seasonal Mini Cup Decor and More die set. This is one of 4 different mini cup die sets that we have in the Trinity shop that customize these mini cups. You can also use them on your own style of coffee cup that's a plastic cup that has a plastic lid. They will fit many different sizes. The one that I'm using today is the mini coffee cups with mini coffee cup sleeve and decor die set. And then this one is like an add-on set. It is the Seasonal Mini Cup Decor and More die set. Now, what I've done is pulled out the pieces that I'm going to be using today and just use these. And I'm going to pair them with some brand new slimline sized paper pads. We've got 2 different paper pads. which are the black and white paper pad along with the autumn rainbow paper pad. And I've die cut all of the little pointed items from the one autumn rainbow paper pad, and the sleeve that goes around the outside of the cup is from the black and white pattern paper pad. In that particular paper pad, all of the images that are black and white actually work really great with hot foil paper. They're heat reactive, so this is a kind of like a 2-for-1 on that paper pad. So I'm going to start out by adhering the design that looks like a buffalo check to the outside of the cup. Now, this cup can really hold fluid if you choose. It can also hold candy, which is what it's going to end up holding in the long run. I plan to use this as a prototype to make a bunch of little turkeys for my Thanksgiving table this year, because my children are really going to like them. So I've first cut out a piece that looks like the turkey head and body, and then I've used his negative pieces and some Copic markers to give them a little customized look. You could also use some colored cardstock to make additional die cuts, and that would, you could pop them in place. Now, the eyes were so small that I thought it would be easier just to put a piece of black cardstock behind him, and then it looks like he has black eyes. Easy peasy. Now I'm going to add the little cheek pieces back into place, and I will put his little turkey beak in place. Now, it may appear, but you might not be able to tell, but this was originally designed as a penguin, and so it customizes as a penguin, but I'm adapting it as a turkey. So I'm going to completely seal up that area where the two pieces overlapped and put some double-sided foam, and then I'm going to tuck in all of the little turkey feathers. This piece was designed as a Christmas ornament, and I'm adapting it as turkey feathers. So with this particular season die set, you can adapt all of the pieces to so many different occasions. I'm going to use mini glue dots to adhere in right behind the turkey body and kind of follow along with the contours of the cup. You can use this die set in so many different ways. In fact, we have a brand new die set that just came out in our Christmas release, and it has elements for hand stitching. So you can actually make your die cuts from felt, and then you can hand stitch them and add them to our mini coffee cups. I'm going to add a sentiment that says Happy Thanksgiving and use the little tag area or the tag die to cut out that area, and this is also from that same add-on die set. I like the fact that it has a little hole that it die cuts already. Makes it easy to adhere, and I'm going to adhere that to the top little stir stick of the coffee cup and just tie a little knot there to where it's going to be loose enough for the piece to kind of float around. This makes really great children's gifts or teacher gifts. You can make them for any holiday. You're not limited at all. And the coffee cup comes from Trinity Stamps. We have a show special for you just for spending time with us. You can earn 15% off from November 7th through the 13th, 2020 on all stamps, dies, and stencils. Just use the code FALLFUN, that's FALLFUN, whenever you get to your cart checkout at trinitystamps.com. There's so much that we have on right for you at Trinity Stamps. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today, and I hope that you've enjoyed seeing how these 3 really quick and easy and fun projects can come together.